Welcome to my presentation today. I'm going to guide you on a very important variable transformation feature in SPSS. And before I do that, I'm going to give you background information on the type of variables. So we all know that before you begin any analysis, you're supposed to understand the type of variables that you're handling. So you have to do so because every kind of statistical analysis depends on the type of variable that you're handling. So in this case, we have two broad classification of variables. A variable can be categorical or continuous. So you can also look at it from a different sphere, which can be qualitative or quantitative. So I'm assuming that you're having a scenario whereby you're having a continuous variable in which you want to transform it into a categorical variable. So you're doing so because maybe you want to employ some statistical test such as chi-square, whereby you're supposed to have a cross tabulation of two categorical variables. So I'll go into SPSS. This is my sample data set that I'm going to use for this presentation. So this is data on employee satisfaction. So this is gender. Gender is a categorical variable. Satisfaction is also another categorical variable. So this is employee data set, and maybe we have an hypothesis that we want to test. We may want to test an hypothesis that gender and level of satisfaction are independent. So these two variables are categorical. I can utilize or I can use the cross tabulation chi-square test to test whether the two categorical variables are independent. But in a case whereby you're having a continuous variable, for example age, and maybe you want to test whether age and level of satisfaction are independent. So that tells you that you have to employ a chi-square test. So you'll have to transform age into a categorical variable. So if you look at my variable description, gender is and the level of measurement I have nominal, then age is continuous, it is on scale. So I'll have to categorize that. If you look at the level of satisfaction, these are the categories from not at all satisfied to extremely satisfied. So remember, this is an ordinal variable whereby we can rank those categories. So if I want to transform age into a categorical variable, I'll go to transform, then visual binning, you click on that, then you transfer age into the variables to bin box, then you click on continue. So this one is the distribution of the dataset. This is a distribution, and if you want to create categories, I'll suggest that you look at the descriptive statistics of age. So if I take, for example, the mean as the cut point, so you're going to specify the cut point. If I want two categories, I'll use the mean as the cut point. So I'm going to specify under one the value to be 36. Let's say the mean is 36. So if I input 36 here, it's going to divide this data set into two categories. Those from 36 or below years. So because you can see the upper endpoint is included, it means that 36 is included. So you are starting from 36 or less. So if I want three categories, I can make a guess. So let's say I start from 28. So 28 or less, then I can go to the second, you just click on the second category there and a value, then you specify. So let's say that 8. So as you can see, there are two vertical bars or lines. We have this one from 28 or less, and then from 29 to 38, and then high means that you're having above 38, so from 39 and beyond. So remember, you should note this. If you want to exclude, then you select here. So I'm including. Then you just click OK. But before that, you're supposed to give the variable name. So let's say age B. So that is my new variable name. Then you click OK. So it's going to create a new variable, As you can see, this is the syntax, and you can see we have 3 categories. And if you look at the variable view, we have this added variable, and I'm supposed to specify the values under this section. You click these 3 dots, then you specify what is 1. So to us, we know that this is 28 or less. 28 or less. Then you click on 2. 2 start from 29 to 38. Then 3 is above 38. So you're supposed to specify the values with their respective labels based on the output or based on your categories. So if you click on the data view, you'll see that I now have a categorical variable age. If I switch the labels using this icon, you're going to see that we have the numerical values. Then when you switch, you're going to get the labels. So I can now perform chi-square test. So from age, which was a continuous variable, to age, which is now a categorical variable. So if I want to do a chi-square test, I can go to Analyze, Descriptives, then you go to Cross Tabulation, then you transfer the causal variable, which is say age, which is now categorical. Then maybe we want to see whether level of satisfaction depend on age. So I'll transfer level of satisfaction to column. Then you click on statistics, and then you select chi-square. Then you click continue, then you click OK. So you're going to get a cross tabulation here. This is the cross tabulation. Then below it we have the chi-square test. You can see that the test is insignificant. So which tells us that age and level of satisfaction, or age and employee level of satisfaction, are independent. So I can also test whether level of satisfaction and gender are independent. So I'll do repeat the same procedure: Analyze, Descriptives, and then cross tab. Then you will replace age with gender. Then you just click OK. So as you can see, the chi-square test results are significant, meaning that gender and level of education are dependent. So that is all about chi-square test. So you should know that we can transform a categorical variable, a continuous variable into a categorical variable. So if you want to perform a certain test which require you to have a categorical variable. So it's very important, in case you have a large data set, you don't have to do it manually. You can just utilize this feature. Just go to transform, then you go to visual binding. So thank you for watching this video.